Yeah, the only time you ever eat anything in the morning is if, like, our buddy Justin's here from Cousin Subs, and they've got a new sub you want to try out. You house it when it happens, but,
Fine is relative, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
Okay.
He's got all this water. He's like, man,
All the water,
boy.
drinking the water.
You're just a thirsty boy.
I've been getting after it early.
You
huh?
had that again. This is
Well,
the same
it's
thing
the
that
sun.
happened.
The sun's up.
It's the same thing that happened yesterday, and just be careful when that mic is open and not. Just don't want you
BS.
Don't want you belching during a very sensitive rivalry.
It wasn't even a burp. It's not even a burp. It's not.
Are we back here?
What was it?
He was all over me today for burping in the microphone. A burp, you have to have an open mouth. My mouth was closed, and it was just
Okay.
Wait,
Still burp.
I was going to say, do you want another word for it? Like,
Yeah,
are we
what
looking
was
for a closed mouth burp is a clerp?
It's a
CL?
Quado. Remember
Yes,
Quado
yeah,
from
yeah.
Total Recall?
Well, yeah, your stomach. We've talked
Yes.
about that before.
There's someone in there.
Yeah.
No, so that technically wasn't a burp, and Will choked. Should have had my microphone off.
But you turned it on.
You yelled at me, or you did.
I get in trouble for what she
Yes.
did.
Yeah.
Oh, at the very beginning of the show,
Correct.
I said, how much
The
time
people
is it going to
didn't
take
hear
you?
it anyways.
They did.
No.
The people did hear it.
What'd they say?
Chewy burped in the middle of your Better
Number
Help
one,
read.
Most of the people listen on the radio.
Yes.
There's no camera, so they don't know who did it. So if I denied it,
They do.
They know.
I mean, again, the rest
tried.
of us knew, and we talked about it immediately after. You didn't deny it then. So now to deny it 22 hours later would be a tough look for you.
Very rich. Where do you stand, Gabe, on the old all-you-can-eat option?
Can't remember the last time I had an all-you-can-eat option. Now, when we were in college, like that was an oasis for our coaches because we always got a per diem when we were on the road for baseball, and it would be a much cheaper option for the coaching staff. Okay, we don't have to give every guy $10 or whatever it was. We can just go to the Golden Corral and let these guys go crazy.
That makes sense.
So they were always happy whenever they saw a Golden Corral, but I'm pretty sure that would have been the last time I had an all-you-can-eat option.
Back in the day, Dario and I used to do some serious damage at Potawatomi. Potawatomi had the all-you-can-eat buffet. It was like $60 a person, but you could sit there for hours and just absolutely dominate some crab legs or some prime rib. So we would do that date night pretty regularly. I didn't even know that we were doing an all-you-can-eat option until we got to our spot on Mother's Day on Sunday morning, Sunday at like 11:30. I told you guys that Dario first booked an 8 a.m. brunch. And I said, we're not doing that. But 11:30 is a decent time. And we walked in, and the place was an all-you-can-eat small plate restaurant. And I was like, looking at the options, they had steak, they had pork, they had tacos, they had chicken, it was very, very, very good. But, and we had no issue with this, so I don't want people, jumping down my throat on this. But we were a little surprised that it was mandatory that every person in the party did the all-you-can-eat option, including our 7-year-old and our 5-year-old girls. So 7-year-old girl, 5-year-old girls, they were each, included in the all-you-can-eat $50 a plate.
5-0?
Correct.
5-0.
5-0 per person.
That's insane.
Hey, you got to make up the money somehow. I mean, somebody's
$50 though?
Yeah.
I mean, was it quality food?
Terrific.
Oh, it was?
Fantastic. Amazing.
I can't eat $50 worth of food.
You can. I mean, here's the way we justified it. The steak alone was going to be $22. So you get, and again, they're small plates, small portions, right? It's like a tapas option. And we crushed. I didn't feel sick. I wasn't like, oh, we really overdid it. But again, in the back of my mind, I'm like, we paid $100 for the 5-year-old and the 7-year-old to have a couple of turkey meatballs and some watermelon.
That's insane.
If I were to guess, this was precipitated by the poor behavior of patrons in the past.
They're driving kids
Took
away.
advantage of the all-you-can-eat and said, they're just going to have some fries, and then you look over and they're mowing down some steak, they're mowing down some chicken. If I were to guess, that's where that comes from, of people taking advantage of the system, so now they ruined it for everyone else.
It's distinctly possible. Again, we had no issue taking care of it, paying the $50 per girl, but we did say to each other, "Oh, it seems a little steep."
Right.
When
that's insane.
Well, but
it's $50 for a buffet with your whole family.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Drinks not included.
They should have like an under 12 option.
That's what we said.
Cut the price in half. That way, everyone still has to get it, but
That's what
the
we said.
5-year-old isn't going to be eating $50.
Well, they
even.
probably don't want kids there,
Yeah, that's the other thing is
They don't.
driving away kids.
right?
Yep.
That's distinctly possible as well. It was Mother's Day, though. Like, you could think that maybe you throw an exception to, oh, well, we
Well, they
wanted.
only want older families, right? Like they would only want someone like me taking my mom to Mother's Day. They don't want the under 12 crowd, and they're trying to drive those
Maybe
kids
there's
away.
moms that don't want their kids around.
That too. Maybe mom just wants to treat herself.
It's actually not a bad idea.
How much would my 5-year-old and 7-year-old each have to eat in order to justify $50 per? And again, I certainly ate $50 worth of food. Dario, Chase, same thing, growing boy and whatnot. But again, one turkey meatball, a little bit of Caesar salad, and some watermelon, and the girls called it a day.
There's your margin.
Yeah.
You ate over $50. They ate way under. They still come out ahead.
Mimosas included?
No drinks included.
When are mimosas ever included?
I had bottomless mimosas
Oh
somewhere.
yeah, but
Yeah,
you
but
got
you
to pay
paid
for
for
it.
it.
That's not a part of the meal. Like you can get bottomless mimosas aside from the meal.
Well,
It's
for
not folded
Mother's
into the
Day,
cost.
we were in Florida, and it was just me, Ange, and the Angries, and one of their kids. What did they charge for that? But it was bottomless mimosas included.
Oh.
So me and Angry made it worth it.
That feels like that's reaching 3 figs there. if you're
Now I can
including-
get the $50. John.
I'll crush
Now that's
50.
attainable.
You know what? That's interesting, though, because you don't really like sugar. You know
No.
how much sugar's in that orange juice, buddy?
Oh, only a splash.
Oh.
Yes.
Mostly
Come on,
champagne.
Jen. We're drinking champagne here.
Yeah.
With a
Just a tickle of
hint.
orange juice.
Ooh, I like tickle. That's fun.
Yeah.
Tickle, splash, drop, all of those types of portions of orange juice. Were there any other options? We weren't going to tell the girls not to eat. We were already there. We weren't going to leave. So again, we were sort of beholden to their policy. But maybe next time, look ahead, read ahead.
I think because
all
I'm sure it
people-
was posted on their website.
Can you
There
take
were
a doggy
restrictions.
bag from a buffet?
Can you?
Yeah.
Sure. Is it, as Wilde and Tausch like to say, in poor taste? Absolutely.
IPT, which I will tell you this was the other thing, right? So we're trying to figure out like how hungry we are, and the food comes out rotationally. It's coming out as it's made.
Yeah.
And so, Dario's like, oh, we haven't tried the chicken yet. We should get the chicken. Okay, grab the chicken. Oh, we haven't tried the ribs yet. We should try the ribs. Yeah, let's grab the ribs. We get to the end of the meal. We've been there. Oh, and they had a 2-hour maximum sit time. So we didn't even come close to the 2 hours. It was like hour 22. So the lady at the end goes, okay, looks like you guys did a great job. Can I get you any doggy boxes?
Oh.
I mean, if it's offered.
We were like, doggy boxes? Would have ordered another round of ribs. So we ended up taking like 3 tacos home with us, a little bit of the tapenade that we hadn't finished, some Caesar salad that didn't get eaten.
Yeah, I mean, if it's offered, then
Right.
What
then
is
have at it.
what's tapenade? I've never heard of that.
Oh, it's like an olive,
Okay.
diced olives,
So-
diced Kalamata olives, diced green olives, diced garlic.
The additional piece of knowledge there you gave us where there's a 2-hour limit makes me feel like they had some real problems with people in the past, and they've had to really tamp down on the people who, doing what I did in high school on a free day off and go to the Chinese buffet and sit there for 2 meals but pay for one. Like,
Hey, I'm working on my homework. I got the
right. We were there for 5 hours and we had 2 rounds of meals, and they kind of just looked at us because it was,
Is that
General
wrong?
Tso's chicken.
It's very obvious
some
what you were
rice.
doing there. Should we have had to pay? Now, again, I'm not saying that we weren't going to. There was never a point where we were like, we are standing our ground. We are not paying for. But should a restaurant have a policy for kids? Again, it's not our fault that other people might have abused the system. We were not intending to abuse the system at all. But, 8 and 8. But then they gave us doggy bags, and I was like, oh, man, if we had known. Now I think they keep that on the hush-hush down low, which is why I'm not announcing it to the public, this place's name. But it was wonderful. Should there be a under 12 price for all you can eat? Should that be standard? Under 10, maybe, if you think you got a hungry 11-year-old, a hungry 12-year-old.
Yeah, I was about to say, when did kids really start hitting that growth rate? Like, when did Chase really start, eating a whole frozen pizza by himself? I feel that's a rite of passage for a kid where they just throw a frozen pizza in themselves and just house down the whole thing.
Well, that's weird on Mother's Day that you're jabbing the kids for 50. It's like, I don't want the restaurant saying, I don't want the kids there, but it's Mother's Day.
Well, yeah, but you don't want the young kids, right? Again, there's older mothers out there that have older kids.
Yeah.
The young, and you hate young kids.
I love kids, just my kids.
Yeah, exactly. But you hate young kids. Like, if you went to a place, you would be very happy if they had no under 12 children there.
I like kids. I like teasing, Jen. When you brought the girls over, I tease, but there's a time limit.
Yeah.
45 minutes, you got to go.
Seems a little high.
Yeah.
Seems a little high for you.
And then he's like, okay, I've been hanging out with you long enough. We went out on the boat, and Chewy was like, oh, look at the time. Got to go back.
But I've always been a teaser. Like, someone got a little sad at me yesterday on the text chain. I won't mention any names because I like stirring the pot. That's what the locker room's all about.
Was it Joshy?
You thinking that I'm not meeting you with the same exact energy has always been so baffling to me.
There were 5 exclamation points. That means you are upset.
That's being dramatic for effect, Chewy. You think I've known you this long and I don't know what you're doing and you're getting under my skin?
I didn't even say it was you.
Yeah.
Well,
come on.
But you're only ever talking about one of 2 people.
Right.
Ashton or Josh.
Correct.
Sorry, I'm over here giving the answers to
How
the
that's
test.
translated, Josh?
Huh.
Means I missed you.
I'm never mad at you when I'm responding to you. I don't know if I have a bad job of texting. I'm just teasing you back.
Yeah. He's meeting your sarcasm with sarcasm.
Maybe I don't like to be teased. I just like to dish it out.
Feels like a spot
What's good for the goose is good for the gander.
Yes.
Feels like a spot we should stop down here. Let that sink in for a few moments during the break. We do have Jason Wilde coming up next on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Lots of stuff for us to ask him about, including what is going on in Jayden Reed's camp right now. Plus, the coordinator spoke yesterday. There is so much happening. Giannis, the NBA draft lottery. Holy moly, can we even jam it all in? Stick around, Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, just getting started.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy are back after this on 94.5 ESPN.
Backups along northbound 43 stretching from the high-rise bridge all the way up to Keefe. We've also got a crash on the ramp from Silver Spring to southbound 43. 41 southbound's wet road, slowing things down from Good Hope Road all the way down through the construction zone past Capitol. Northbound slowing from Watertown Plank Road almost to Hampton. Eastbound 94 starting to see some delays from before 84th Street all the way to Hawley Road. The westbound side is backing up from 25th Street to Mitchell Boulevard. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Today, scattered showers, mainly in the morning. We'll have areas of fog with a high of 65 at the lake, 75 inland. Tonight, patchy fog, mild with a low of 51. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
The next best round of golf for you will happen at the Wisconsin Country Club. Hey, it's ESPN Milwaukee's Gabe Neitzel. Do what I did. Become a member at the Wisconsin Country Club. There's no assessments, no food and beverage minimums, and a beautiful course that is fun and challenging. Tree-lined fairways, specially groomed greens, and a top 100 teaching pro. Plus, the Wisconsin Country Club has tennis and pickleball courts and a pool with themed Sunday fun days every week. Get started today and visit thewisconsincountryclub.com for membership information. The Wisconsin Country Club, just a fairway away.
You remember the moments from that magical March.
Side Decker, it's a 3. Got it!
On June 26th, celebrate the squad with Made 'em Believe, a special night with Bo Ryan, Frank Kaminsky, and Sam Decker.
Here's Kaminsky, the drop stab,
that's his favorite.
and the 2.
Presented by Bud Light, Michelob Ultra, Potosi Varsity Ale, and Potosi Hard Seltzer. Tickets are on sale now at uwhoops2015.com. Made 'em Believe, June 26th at the Orpheum Theater in Madison.
Escape the city and relax at Lake Lawn Resort in beautiful Delavan, Wisconsin. Enjoy outdoor activities on Delavan Lake. Tee off at the lakeside Majestic Oaks Golf Course or unwind at the award-winning Calidora Spa. With both indoor and outdoor pools, there's fun for the whole family. Take a cruise on the Lake Lawn Queen. Explore stunning shores and historic landmarks and enjoy delicious food and drinks on board. Book your stay today at lakelawnresort.com, where everything is better at the lake.
It's happened again. Another local organization switching to business technology from James Imaging Systems. This time, it's St. Anne Center for Intergenerational Care. CFO Sally Parente.
We were unhappy with our previous vendor. It was always a big production. We also had some issues with pricing.
And now with James Imaging Systems,
The service, the value, and the ease with which we can just keep using their service and not having any big headaches. We're getting value here as well.
just what you'd expect from James Imaging Systems, a 100% Wisconsin-owned and managed company. AI-driven workflow automation, security enhancements, and digital transformation.
I love that they're a local company. They've been a wonderful business partner for St. Anne Center.
Make the switch to James Imaging Systems. Call 262-781-7700 or visit jamesimaging.com. James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner.
When you don't compromise on the court, you shouldn't compromise off of it either. Lose the calories, not the taste. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri. Copyright 2024.
Hey Bucks fans, enjoy Michelob Ultra at 90s 2K Cafe Milwaukee, Champs Lake Geneva, McGillicuddy's Milwaukee, Kelly's Bleachers Wind Lake, and Magoo's on the Mound Milwaukee. Michelob Ultra, proud sponsor of the Milwaukee Bucks.
We see you out there, building a life you love, knowing that when inspiration strikes, nothing should get in your way. At Blaine's, we're here to help with everything you need to make it happen at prices that make it possible. Like 15% off assorted Kurt trailer hitch accessories, name brand tires, or buy 3, get 1 free for rewards members. Plus, as a family-owned business, we offer the Blaine's Best Price Promise, guaranteeing you'll always find the lowest price with us, or we'll match it. Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Be an original.
Ready, down, put.
All Packers, all the time.
He was a field tilting player, and the reason why Gabe and many others are so concerned is that this guy's on the field, he changes the offensive dynamic. They are a different offense when he is there.
Okay, most of the time.
You know, Homer calls Matt LaFleur soft all the time. Matt LaFleur is like Vince Lombardi compared to me.
It's Jason Wilde on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
While we effort Jason Wilde this morning on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, having some phone issues, let's debrief the folks of the story that popped yesterday about Jayden Reed. So if I am to understand correctly, it sounds like the Green Bay Packers met with Jayden Reed's representatives, which are now Drew Rosenhaus and company. And see, this is where it gets tricky for me. Basically ensured that Jayden Reed was the number 1 wide receiver. Gabe, am I reading that correctly?
Yeah, so the report that came out from Shefty is Packers GM Brian Gutekunst met last week with Jayden Reed's agent, Drew Rosenhaus, to clarify the wide receiver status in Green Bay after the team drafted Matthew Golden and Savion Williams. Team said it will not affect Reed's status as its top receiver per source.
Yeah, he's top receiver until they want to pay him. And then they'll tell him he's the 3rd receiver.
Or top receiver until somebody
Matthew
beats him
Golden.
out. Yeah.
Well, so that, guys, if I'm being honest, was where my brain went, does not compute. So you're trying to tell me that Jayden Reed doesn't have to compete with Matthew Golden at all this offseason to be the number 1 wide receiver? I like Jayden Reed. I like him a lot. You guys know I did that feature with him for College Game Day. I've always had a soft spot in my heart for him. But to sit here and think that he and his representatives can just lift their leg and pee on the number 1 wide receiver position feels a little entitled. I'm not sure, Chew, that Jayden Reed has earned that distinction. Has he separated himself enough from the pack to be the de facto number 1 wide receiver when they went out and spent their 1st-round pick on Matthew Golden?
No, it sounds like this receiver room is full of a bunch of babies. You had Dobbs last year. I'm not playing because I'm not getting enough targets. Well, turns out you were getting the most targets of everyone. Now, Jayden Reed, do you like me or do you like me like me? I mean, this is ridiculous. Why don't you take the bull by the horns and say, all right, you drafted the number 1 receiver. I'm going to show you I'm better than him, and I'm going to do it on the field instead of calling your agent and I want to trade. It's ridiculous.
And to be fair, I don't know that he said that or that they said that. But the only thing that is interesting to me is why is this even out there?
I have no.
I mean, I understand that Adam Schefter, who we will talk to tomorrow and maybe get a little bit more clarity on, puts information out as he gets it. But what is the incentive here, Gabe, for Jayden Reed's camp to even have this out there? To me, it makes Jayden look bad.
I don't know if this is Drew Rosenhaus, who his new agent, stepping up and going, hey, I'm stepping up for my guy. I'm protecting my guy. I'll go to bat for my guy. And he's letting everybody know that, hey, if you have one of my guys on your team, I'm going to be asking tough questions about my guys on your team. That's the only thing I think I can make it make sense is that Drew Rosenhaus is trying to flex some muscle here a little bit.
You're 2 years away from a deal. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, but you would typically have those conversations a year from now because you'd want to have those conversations going into that final year.
But this isn't something that should be made public. I mean, it should be a call. If this is the case, a call to Rosenhaus and say, hey, don't tell anyone this, but what do you guys feel about my client?
Yeah.
You know? Should have been behind closed doors.
But that's just not how Drew Rosenhaus typically works, right? Like, he does everything pretty publicly.
I think these players today just have to be loved, you know? Right?
Mm-hmm. Well, look.
I'm not saying every player, but I mean, these prima donna positions is like, you know? I mean, when Keith came in, I wasn't happy, but I wasn't going to whine about it, you know? It's just competition is good. Competition is good, and it should light a fire under his butt. He should sit there and go, you know what? I had a hell of a beginning of the year, and then what happened? Fell off the map. Well, you know what? I'm going to go work at that.
Well,
they say I'm not good against man. I'm going to show them I'm good against man. Not like, Drew, call them up. I want to know if they like me or like me like me.
Well, and again, I don't know what the impetus was. I don't know if Jayden Reed went to his agent and said, hey, can you just get some clarification? And this is sort of how it rolled out. I don't know if Drew was like, this is ridiculous that they drafted Matthew Golden. Don't they know what they have in you? I'm going to have a conversation with Brian Gutekunst. I don't know what started this whole thing. What I'm still scratching my head over is why in the world would Brian Gutekunst tell them that he's the number one wide receiver? Jayden Reed, again, like him, want to be clear, think he has a lot of potential. Very explosive, dynamic player. Glad he's a member of the Green Bay Packers. But I went through last night and pulled Jayden Reed's numbers compared to all of the other de facto number one wide receivers in the league. It ain't even close.
He's 45th on that list.
Aren't even close, guys.
If you take a look at his snap count numbers, the Packers don't think he's a number one wide receiver, especially in the second half of the season last year. I mean, a lot of these numbers are in the 50s. After he had 5 catches for 113 yards against Detroit in Week 9, like the highest percent of snaps that he played from Week 10 on, just barely over 70%.
Yeah,
like he's not out there all that often.
Well, and
they've done research on the numbers show that when they go 2 wide receivers, he's not out there. You have to have 3 wide receivers for him to even be on the field.
Well, they're kind of pigeonholing him as a gadget guy.
Yeah.
Well, and I pulled another number, guys. In the 33 regular season games that the Green Bay Packers have had Jayden Reed for, he has recorded fewer than 5 receptions in 22 of them. That's 2/3. In 2/3 of the games, he has 5 receptions or fewer. When I think of a number one wide receiver, I'm thinking of a guy you're feeding. You are featuring. That's not featured. And again, I'm not saying that any of those things are Jayden Reed's fault. Maybe that's what the conversation was. Maybe the conversation was, hey, we're looking around the league. We'd like to put this guy in a position to be the number one wide receiver, but y'all aren't doing anything to help him out. Maybe that's what the conversation was. But Gabe, were you shocked that as part of this post, it basically said, yeah, he's our guy. He's our number one guy.
And this is something we'll talk to Jason about a little bit. But what's interesting to me is year in and year out on the offensive line, it seems like there's competition. Like Rasheed Walker has been in a competition for left tackle every year he's been in Green Bay. He's come out on top every year. He's met that competition and gone, nope, I'm going to be the left tackle. And it looks like he's going to have to do that again. Also, according to Adam Stenavich, it looks like Zach Tom, who is arguably their second, maybe best offensive lineman at the right tackle spot, is also going to be in a competition for the right tackle spot this season.
But just look at
so if those guys have to compete, Jayden Reed just de facto is number one despite spending 2 of your top 3 picks on wide receivers?
Because this room is soft. I mean, look, it hasn't even been a year When did the Romeo Dobbs thing go down?
Last year, yeah.
Middle of last year. So since then, we've had Dobbs. We've had Christian Watson's dad. So who knows what went on with those guys? I know it's not him.
Yeah, I can't.
But it's still out there. Like, what did he say?
Basically, they'll get what they deserve. They don't want to win.
I'm just talking about the room and the drama that comes from that room, and now you got.
Yeah, I don't want to blame Christian for the stupid stuff his dad says.
Look, yes, but when it comes to agents, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you, because I did it, I'd be pissed at a practice, I'd be pissed at a game or something. You vent to your agent, right? So to me, it sounds like Jayden. I don't think Rosenhaus would pick up the phone, if he didn't hear from his client. So he must be hearing things from his client where he needs to be reassured that they love him.
And Rosenhaus has been around long enough where he's just not going to do it on a whim. Like, I'm sure, like, when the Packers, you've talked about this, how you weren't happy when Keith Jackson first showed up in Green Bay. Sure, you vented to your agent.
Yeah.
But the first time you vented to your agent about it, I'm sure he didn't pick up the phone to Ron Wolf and
never
go,
did.
yeah,
No.
and just go, hey, Ron, what the hell's going on here?
You know what he probably said to me? Grow up. No, seriously. You know?
Can we use that on you?
Yeah, I don't know if I'll listen.
Doesn't feel like it's going to be effective.
You know?
I have some questions about the inclusion of the top option thing. That feels like, to me, a little editorializing by Mr. Rosenhaus. That feels
when
like...
he talked to Schefter.
Yes.
If we're following the breadcrumbs.
Yes, correct. That feels like the Packers probably said, yeah, we have plans to use Jayden Reed. He's can be great. He's been a useful weapon for us. I don't think there was any conversation of, yeah, he's going to lead the team in targets, yards, and catches. That seems like you're trying to inflate and publicly put out there that, yeah, my player's good and is still the best option in Green Bay.
But, I mean, I guess he would probably have to worry more about Savion Williams than Matthew Golden. Well, him and Golden, I mean, Golden can move around, eventually probably move around, but it's not like they play the same position.
I said it on draft day. This is going to be a big year for Jayden Reed because if you have a true wide receiver one, like you envision Matthew Golden being, guess what they do with those guys? They play him in the slot, they play him at the X, they play him at the Z. They move them all around, and they make an advantage for him. Basically, when the Packers went 3 wide receivers, Jayden Reed lined up in the slot every single time. He, interestingly enough, led the team in routes run last year, but he also wasn't on the field for all that much because they were rotating those guys like it was Little League. Everyone gets snaps, everyone plays here. But when they went to 2 wide receivers, like Gabe said, he wasn't on the field. So now he's going to be losing some of those snaps at the slot position, and he's not going to be available for the 2 wide receiver sets. So that means your playing time de facto is going to be going down.
Which also, if we're listening to the coaching staff and what they're telling us about Tucker Kraft and how they want to get him more involved and maybe have more 2 tight end sets, that also limits the opportunities for Jayden Reed because if they're going more 2 tight ends, they're only having 2 receivers on the field.
I just wonder if it's a way for them to drive down cost of receivers because I don't agree with the way they do this. And I told you guys before, you don't get tired out there. So if they're using the excuse, well, we don't want them to get tired. I never got tired.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get tired, you know, and if you do get tired, you're not in shape. So that whole argument is gone. It's just,
I don't think that any of them are good enough to stay on the field. That's, to me, the biggest problem.
They're trying to figure out what the best option is.
This conversation's all about money.
And Jayden Reed being paid like a number 1 wide receiver eventually.
Is trying to posture. Is he a number 1?
No.
You're not a number 1
Well, right.
Can
I just give you some numbers, guys? Can I give you these numbers? So Jamar Chase, 127 receptions, 1,700 receiving yards, 17 touchdowns. He's top of the list as far as these wide receivers go, right?
Pretty sure that's Jayden Reed's career.
Justin Jefferson is after that. This is just last season. 103 receptions, 1,500 yards, 10 touchdowns. Give me another name you guys want to hear. CeeDee Lamb, 108, 1255, 11 touchdowns. Jayden Reed, 55 receptions. So we're talking about more than half of some of these guys, right? Well, 155, 127. Yeah, a half. 857 receiving yards, 6 touchdowns. Like, I couldn't find a metric. Maybe you could look at yards per reception because he was 15.6. So you could argue, like, when he got the ball, he was able to turn it into long gains. But that is the only area he leads any of these categories.
Can you read off Chase's numbers again? from last year?
127, 1708, 17. Is that what you have?
So those numbers are all better than the career numbers of Jayden Reed. Every last one of those. Receptions, yards, and touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
Better than Jayden Reed's last 2 years combined.
And again, I don't want to get ahead of ourselves and say that Jayden Reed cannot evolve to the number one wide receiver on this team. But at this moment, right now, right here in the present day, in reality, he's not. So it's just interesting to me that there's a report out there that says that Gutekunst and Rosenhaus had this conversation, and basically they were like, oh, yeah, he's our guy. He's our number one wide receiver. When you went out and spent draft capital on, again, Matthew Golden, who, again, as you guys have said, may play in a different spot on the field, but I think everything is set up for him to be the number one guy. 800-990-3776. Get us your reaction on this conversation. Ron in the 920 says, I'd be careful attributing Goody to anything in that report. It came directly from Drew, show me the money, who gave the Goody quote. Again, I think we are conscious of that this did, Rosenhaus likely talked to Adam Schefter. Adam Schefter put that post out there. It may not have been exactly how Goody phrased it is exactly what I was looking for. Thank you for saving me there, too. We got to take a break because we do want to get to Jason Wilde this morning and get his reaction on that. Plus, the coordinators did speak yesterday. What popped from those conversations? We'll talk about it right after this.
Let me tell you about our friends at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, because there's no better time to upgrade your windows and doors than right now. Pella offering up to 6 years of 0% financing. Set up a free in-home consultation. You commit to nothing at this point. I'm putting my money where my mouth is, by the way. I've got my free in-home consultation coming up tomorrow. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin coming to my house tomorrow. Take a look at the windows, especially my front door. I'm thinking my front door could be a little problematic, and I may need a new front door at our house. They're going to listen to your vision and suggest the Pella materials and customizations to make it a reality. Get 0% financing for up to 6 years. Certain restrictions apply. Deal ends May 31st, 2025. All you need to do is visit PellaWI.com today.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy continues next on 94.5 ESPN.
We've got a few problems out on the road. First of all, on southbound 43, the Silver Spring on-ramp, we've got a crash there, and then it's going to be slow from that point all the way down past Capitol. Northbound slowing down from before Lincoln all the way up past Keefe. Eastbound 94, we've got some heavy traffic from Highway 16 all the way to Springdale Road. Back on the brakes from the Zoo through the Stadium interchange to 35th. Westbound 94 is backed up from about 25th Street to Mitchell Boulevard. And then southbound on 41, heavy from Appleton Avenue all the way down past Capitol Drive. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today, scattered showers mainly in the morning, areas of fog with a high of 65 at the lake, 75 inland. Tonight, patchy fog, mild with a low of 51. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Forget average. At Exterior Pros, they bring the heat. They're not here to meet standards, they're here to smash them. From the first swing of the hammer to the final reveal, they're leveling up your home with every window, every shingle, and every single detail. This isn't just a remodel, it's a glow up for your house. Built tough, built beautiful, built to turn heads. Want in? Let's go. Lock in your project now and save $3,000. Exterior Pros, where bold meets built. Trust the pros and visit extpros.com or call 262-800-4274.
Every great team has its core players, but when the season gets tough, adding the right free agent can make all the difference. The same goes for business. At Robert Half, we found that 67% of companies surveyed plan to increase their use of contract talent to handle workload peaks and backlogged projects. With Robert Half's specialized recruiters' experience, combined with our award-winning AI, you can quickly find the skilled candidates you want. At Robert Half, we know talent. Discover how we can help at roberthalf.com/talent.
Relief from hip and back pain can be a reality when you work with the experts on a mobility and flexibility routine. That's why Stretch Lab was founded. Pro athletes and sports fans alike love Stretch Lab for our customized one-on-one assisted stretch sessions. Discover the difference a good stretch can make, because when your body moves better, you feel better and live better. Visit your local Stretch Lab today or go to stretchlab.com and use code FAN10 to get up to 50% off your first 50-minute stretch. Plus, receive an additional $10 off.
It started with a prediction.
We'll go out there and play basketball and win.
And how many games?
6.
It became the culture.
Chance of Bucks in 6.
Being a Bucks fan means you live and breathe Bucks in 6. Brandon Jennings created the prophecy. Tune into Behind the Bucks, the story of Brandon Jennings on the Bucks Plus audio network. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and streaming wherever you get your podcasts.
That's for the culture.
Thinking about buying or building a new home? Start with a mortgage pre-approval from Great Midwest Bank and experience a state of tranquility. At Great Midwest Bank, we offer fast approvals and flexible options with experienced loan officers who understand the local market, because they live here too. Whether you're breaking ground for new construction or buying that dream home just around the corner, we'll guide you every step of the way. Bank with confidence and start your journey at greatmidwestbank.com. Great Midwest Bank, your simply local equal housing lender.
Experience, knowledge, results. That's what really matters when you need help after a serious truck accident. You'll need a lawyer experienced in fighting and winning for people just like you. Gruber Law Offices has the resources, strong track record of success, and a team of experienced lawyers to take care of your needs. We've successfully helped people injured in big truck accidents for more than 35 years. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
But she doesn't know. Every now and then, I got the blammer coming up and like, I'll let you use my tractor for 2 of the blue things. Which I think's a pretty good deal. Which gets me in trouble.
You got a Viagra ring?
On 94.5 ESPN.
Keep getting us your reaction on the Jayden Reed update, which is that his agent, Drew Rosenhaus, met with Brian Gutekunst to discuss his position on the team. Ryan from Milwaukee weighing in on the Carbless Talk and Text line. Hey, at least Reed finally has some number one receiver diva energy.
Yeah, true.
And again, I want to be careful because I don't know if we should attribute this to Reed. It is distinctly possible, too, that he's venting to his agent, which who hasn't, about, you know, the way that things are shaking out and what your roles are and whatnot. But I don't know then if Rosenhaus probably then needed to have a conversation with Goody. What I'm curious about is what happened in that conversation. To me, it defies logic that Brian Gutekunst would have said today on May whatever it is, yes, obviously, Jayden Reed is our number one wide receiver. Why the hell would you do that when you just drafted Matthew Golden and you have high hopes for him, Gabe?
Yeah, I don't think Goody would do that. It's not consistent with this theme of competition that they want across the offense.
Well, you can't trust Rosenhaus, but I don't trust Goody either.
Yeah, I mean,
he's
publicly,
talked out both sides of his mouth.
Yeah, publicly has certainly done that. I guess I have no idea what he's like behind closed doors dealing with agents.
Yeah. But Jen, me and Gabe were just talking like, okay, he's the number one receiver in Green Bay. He would be 3 on half the teams in the NFC. He'd be 3 on Dallas. He'd be 3 on Philly. He'd be 3 on Washington. He'd be 3 on the Bears, Lions, Vikings, Tampa Bay, the Rams. You'd be a 3. He's our 1.
If he was the one, they wouldn't
just go play football.
They wouldn't have looked to upgrade the position.
If you go play football, things take care of themselves, right? This whole whatever, I get it, because I don't know if you guys know that, but football players bitch.
Really?
But they don't need to get to the level where they get into the media or it becomes a problem.
Right, and again, I would hope that all of us would have that luxury.
Yes.
I talked to my agent about certain things.
Sure.
Hey, how come this shook out this way? I was in the conversation for this. All of a sudden, boop, gone. What happened? I don't expect all of a sudden for the public to become aware that I'm having that conversation with my agent. It's supposed to, be that confidence. But what I don't understand is this idea of, even from a Rosenhaus, to be honest with you, saving seats. We're saving seats here for you. Oh, no, you can't sit there. That's Jayden Reed's seat.
Yeah.
That's his spot. That, to me, flies in the face of everything I have known about an NFL locker room. And again, we talked about Jamar Chase. We talked about Justin Jefferson. The list is lengthy here, guys, of number one wide receivers in the league. I pulled it up last night, whose numbers are significantly better than what Jayden Reed did last year. And I know you're going to throw in my face, well, but it was wide receiver by committee, Jen. It was the whole group, the sum of the parts. Okay, but that's where I would also argue, what has Jayden Reed done that you think he deserves that distinction?
You don't go by committee for anything. Literally anything. You don't do that by committee if you have the guy. You know, in baseball, starter by committee. If you got a number one guy, you're trotting him out there every 5 days. You're not having the Johnny Holstaff games all that often. Again, if you've got a top running back, you're not going, running back by committee.
Yeah.
You're not doing that. You're not doing wide receiver by committee if you have Justin Jefferson.
So to me,
if
this
you have CeeDee Lamb.
goes back to what you have always said, Gabe, which is nobody emerged.
No.
They gave you the opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I understand how these conversations could go. Rosenhaus is saying, right, but he was sharing snaps with all of these guys. What did you say the targets numbers were? You had the targets numbers
Jayden
for the
Reed,
Packers.
number 2 last year in targets behind Dontavian Wicks. Romeo Doubs on a per-game basis was the top guy. He played 13 games, had 72 targets, was third total on the team. And then Tucker Kraft in 17 games had 70 targets for the Packers.
Just look at the tight end position, right? And go back 2 years? 2 years. Rookie years for 2 years, right? Musgrave was the guy.
Yep.
And all of a sudden, Kraft emerges and, Musgrave, you're not the guy.
Yeah, because Musgrave got hurt.
Kraft, you're the guy, right? Like you said, no one's done that in the receiver. The only thing that's inconsistent about the Rosenhaus thing, when it comes to Goody, why on God's green earth would he say that about Reed when now he's saying there's competition at right tackle?
That's what makes me think.
That was from the coordinator speaking yesterday, right?
So
Gabe?
Adam Stenovich said that they are having a competition at left tackle, going to be a competition at right tackle. They want their 2 best guys out there because they've got a lot of guys who can play that position.
I know Zach Tom's a quiet kind of guy, but I guarantee he's still calling his agent going, they don this guy number 1, and I've been doing this for 3 years now, and I'm a second-team All-Pro, and now all of a sudden I'm dealing with competition.
Keep being told that there's a competition at my position.
Yes. Now, I get it. That's probably to keep costs down. And I will say this. I'm not paying Zach Tom Penny Sewell money. I'm just not. I don't like a ton of money going into your offensive line. I just don't. Because it's shown you don't need a ton of money to go into the offensive line to be successful. Well, I mean, you got Elton making a ton.
He's not. So his contract isn't terrible. Elton Jenkins this year's cap hit is 17.6. That's
still a lot, though, isn't it?
Not in today's
and then
NFL.
You got Banks.
Yeah, in 1996 money.
Oh, that's Brett Favre money. Banks.
Yeah, you just paid Banks, but again, that's not like a.
I mean, are you paying Zach Tom $22 million?
I think about it.
I think right tackles are kind of, you can find them. Left tackles are a little harder to find.
I would think about, I mean, obviously the Packers, that's a decision they have to make this offseason. And I'm wondering now if there's going to be competition at right tackle. I thought they were going to give.
Why would they say that?
I don't know. I thought they were going to give Zach Tom a contract.
Drive the cost down, which is a stupid way to negotiate, right? Oh, you want $20 million and you're an all-pro? We're going to have competition at your position. I mean, that's just stupid. Why would they say that? Why?
So that's where I go back to Joshy saying maybe Rosenhaus kind of just spun this the way he wanted it to be spun.
Cook the books.
Yeah.
I also want us to look back at, remember Josh Jacobs and his tour at the Super Bowl?
Mm-hmm.
And needing a wide receiver 1?
Yep.
Dontavian Wicks' tweet is still out there. Jayden Reed's is not, in reaction to it, where he said, damn, OG, and then deleted the tweet. And then subsequently followed it by a critique of the fan base of how you will throw your own players under the bus.
He's just being honest.
To think this is not directly from Jayden Reed, to me, I think would be stretching what it seems logical here. He obviously feels like his spot isn't for certain, and he thinks he's deserving of more playing time and more consideration.
Okay, you can think that you're deserving of more playing time, Joshy. I get that. That's the athlete's mentality. That's that competitiveness that we want all of these guys to have coursing through their veins. But based on what?
Preaching to the choir here.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah. I mean, as a player, you got to look at yourself in the mirror. I mean, I'm not going into Holmgren going, why am I not on more fly routes? Why don't you send me deep? Why? Well, you're not as fast as other guys. That shouldn't matter. You're hurting my feelings. That's what the receiver room is now. You're hurting my feelings. I mean, get over it. Look at yourself in the mirror. Look what you need to improve on. Look what you cannot do. And move on.
You're a big guy. You had ups. You could have won some jump balls on the 9 route.
Oh, right.
Going up over DBs.
But he's got to get to the spot on the field if he's
Fair.
5 yards behind.
Fair.
Well, yeah, back shoulder it.
You know?
Back shoulder it. I've got a lot of options for my big guy. You're running the 9 route.
I don't think these guys look in the mirror. I think they think they're perfect, you know?
And maybe that's why they need to.
I mean, there's a reason.
Maybe that's why they infused it the way they did with 2 of their top 3 picks being wide receivers.
I was just going to say, there's a reason they took receivers with the first and third pick.
I want to take this one step further, guys. Let's hypothesize out. Let's say we get through training camp, and it is obvious that Golden, with his speed and with his skill set, is the clear number 1 wide receiver. How does Jayden Reed take it? How does Jayden Reed handle it? Can he swallow that? Is that a thing that he can deal with? Or do now we have a thing that we're working through in the season? You know, because we were all very surprised by the way that Romeo Doubs handled that situation. We're like, where did this even come from? Now I'm worried that this could be a breadcrumb. This could be foreshadowing. You know, and that's not good for that room. That's
no,
not good
because
for
we
camaraderie.
already have to worry about Romeo Doubs. Like, that's already a concern of
I think,
if this guy emerges, how does Doubs handle it? Because he didn't handle the situation well last year, even when he was the top target guy.
I think Doubs knows he's not coming back, but the guy that better get his ass in gear is Wicks. Okay? Because he's close to getting out of town, too. I mean, all the talk we heard last year is, hoo-wee, we may have a number 1 in Wicks. We may have a number 1. Not a number.
So far, he's the only one who seemed to have taken the hits in stride.
He also reacted to.
He did.
Josh
His was
Jacobs.
a little more on the fun side of playing. His agent hasn't complained yet.
That's not. I don't want that to be the biggest positive of Dontavian
Well, we got
Wicks.
one guy who skipped work and another whose agent's complaining. Right now, Dontavian Wicks is the only one showing up to work and doing what he's supposed
Leader
to.
in the clubhouse. I want to be very clear, guys, and we've said this throughout this conversation. I really like Jayden Reed. I think y'all really like Jayden Reed and what he has done thus far. This is unusual. This is strange behavior. We're just trying to get a handle on it. And then again, project out like, okay, so let's say that you aren't the number 1 wide receiver. Let's say it's clear that Matthew Golden seizes that spot, goes ahead and grabs it, and doesn't relinquish it. You good? Can you handle it? Are we going to be okay? Are we going to be able to move forward as a team and as a unit, as an offense? Or is this going to be a thing that then starts to unravel?
This isn't a bad thing. I don't want the fans to think this is bad. This is good. This is really good. This is great. This is what you want going into training camp because you're going to see who works their ass off and who rises to the top, and you're going to see the guys who pout and drop to the bottom. This is not bad. I love it. I think this is wonderful because it happened to me, and I rose, baby.
Gross.
What?
For your next night out,
using my
revel in
babies
a
now?
fusion of artistry and flavor with Sushi at St. Kate, offering guests an elevated experience where freshness and creativity converge in every bite. You can't do that every time now. It's not the thing. St. Kate, the Arts Hotel, introduces the addition of an exciting new sushi menu to its culinary repertoire. Indulge in the finest seafood, freshest ingredients, expert craftsmanship for an inspired and delectable dining journey. Experience the art of sushi at St. Kate. Learn more at stkatearts.com, stkatearts.com.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The ESPN Wisconsin app. Find the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple or Android app stores today. More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
St. Anne Center for Intergenerational Care recently switched to James Imaging Systems for their document imaging technology. Why? CFO Sally Parente.
Well, I think that boils back down to the service. We have a good partnership with James Imaging.
With James, you get more than a vendor relationship. You get a local business technology partner.
Oh, absolutely. I can pick up the phone at any time, contact our representative, and he's right on it.
James Imaging Systems, business technology and local support for more productivity, more value.
Definitely. We're a nonprofit here. We have to watch every penny, so we really feel very comfortable in that area with James Imaging.
Comfortable enough to recommend James Imaging Systems to others?
Well, without hesitation, I would recommend James Imaging. They won't be disappointed.
James Imaging Systems. Call 262-781-7700 or visit jamesimaging.com. James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner.
Whether you're a local who wants to enjoy a night out or you're planning to visit Milwaukee, enjoy an artfully stylish experience at St. Kate the Arts Hotel, conveniently located in the heart of downtown Milwaukee's Theater District. With deluxe accommodations, culinary creativity, on-site art galleries, artist in residence, and nightly live music, you'll enjoy every element of your stay at St. Kate. Learn more and book your stay at stkatearts.com.
Do you have trouble getting in and out of the bathtub? Are you afraid you'll slip and fall entering or exiting a tub? Safe Step walk-in tubs can transform your bathtub from an area of concern to a calming refuge. Call them today at 1-800-731-4558 and save $1,600. Safe Step walk-in tubs and showers are proudly made in Tennessee and offer an ultra-low step-in, avoiding that difficult climb over a traditional bathtub wall. They also offer a variety of therapeutic benefits that may help soothe your aching muscles and joints, increasing your mobility, boosting your energy, and improving your sleep. Safe Step walk-in tubs are designed to easily fit your existing tub space and are often installed in as little as one day. Just dial 1-800-731-4558 today to save $1,600 and receive a free shower package. That's 1-800-731-4558 for a free no-obligation consultation and to save $1,600. Safe Step walk-in tubs. Safety never felt so good.
The playoffs are in full swing, and you can get in on all the action at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Go from tracking the latest game-changing moments to placing bets in just a few taps. Right now, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app and sign up with promo code USL to get started today. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Adam Schefter here for Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN. Are you ready for the NFL season? The schedule release is coming, and we know the best place to get your tickets this year. My friends at Vivid Seats. They're seriously legit, and you earn rewards on every purchase. That's basically free football games. When that schedule hits, don't wait around. For the best selection and all the great deals, head to vividseats.com or download the app and lock in your game days now.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Did you know that fact, though?
No, I didn't.
You didn't know that fact?
Is that just a fact, Brig?
Yeah. I mean, that's what Chewy does. Chewy knows the most facts of anyone on the show.
He also knows the most fiction.
On 94.5 ESPN.
Change of plans on this Hughes Day here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. We will have Jason Wilde at the top of the hour, so he will come your way at 8 a.m. to talk a little Green Bay Packers, what the coordinator said yesterday up at 12:65. So it sounds like the schedule is starting to roll out. What do we know so far, Gabe, about when the Packers will play?
We know 2 games. Earlier today, Shefty tweeted out that Packers-Eagles are on Monday Night Football, Week 10, November 10th. That game will be at Lambeau Field. And then Packers-Bears on the 20th will be Week 16.
November 20th?
No, December 20th. December 20th, 5 days before Christmas. They will be playing a Saturday game that is going to be going up against a college football tripleheader with the opening round of the college football playoff.
Which of those games are you more excited for, Chew? Rematch against the Eagles or the new-look Bears? There it is.
Eagles.
I'm so glad you're proving me right, by the way.
He's going to keep belching in your reads.
Yeah. Now, Bears, I'm not buying into the Bears at all. Even though I think they will be a little better with
No, you're
Johnson.
not allowed.
Sorry.
You're not
Take
allowed.
it back.
Not allowed.
I did say you could slap me.
He needs a yardstick like back in the
I
Catholic
know.
school days,
Yes.
right? Across the desk, just bam, every time.
Sorry, I take that back.
All right.
Thank you, Gabe.
Yeah, I'm just trying to keep you honest.
Yes.
And Joshy, you had a theory about another date/competitor opponent. What was it?
Yeah, it would seem to follow that if you're playing on that Saturday Island game, you would give the extra rest to the teams you have playing on Christmas, which is a Thursday. They did last year where they basically swapped the teams. Now that was different because it was on a Wednesday, the Christmas was. But as you get towards the end of the season, if you want to pretend you care about player safety, it would make sense that you would give that extra day of rest to those 3 teams that are going to be playing. Well, 4 teams. No, 6. It'll be 6. Yeah. You would give as much rest to those teams as humanly possible based on their schedule. So it would look like and would seem like, because also on that Saturday that was announced, the Commanders and Eagles are playing. So now that we know the Eagles and Packers are playing at a different time, looks like a home Lambeau game on Christmas would make a lot of sense.
Against the Commanders.
But
correct.
Based on that theory, Bears-Eagles would also be playing on Christmas, which they are not. They are playing on Black Friday.
Yeah, why would college go up against the NFL?
Oh,
That's
we're going to talk about that.
Stupid to me.
We're going to talk about that.
Okay,
We're going to get
okay.
to that. Very good. That's a tease by the big guy.
I'm not bought in that the Packers are playing on Christmas. And if they do, I'm not sure if they're going to be playing the Commies. Because, again, those other 2 teams, Bears and Eagles, who do play each other, would be playing on Black Friday on Amazon Prime.
If I were to make a bet, the Packers play on Christmas.
I do like the dueling theories, though, guys. Whose theory do you buy, Joshy's or Gabe's?
Well, but Joshy's theory's already been proven wrong.
Well, part of it, but not the Packers part of it.
Do you think maybe the NFL would like some snowy shots of Lambeau Field on Christmas Day?
I thought that last year, too. Guess what they didn't do?
What day of the week is it?
It's a Thursday.
I can win with
They've
that.
got 2 Netflix games and then a Prime game on Thursday night. So a Christmas triple header for the NFL this year.
Right.
I'm the only one that has a problem talking about Christmas in May.
Yes.
No.
Jason Wilde coming up next on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Stick around.
An accident at the end of the ramp from Holt Avenue to southbound 4394 has that right lane to the main line right there blocked off. Looks like you can get on using that ramp, but you have to merge a little bit earlier. Be very careful, though. We're down a lane. We've also got a crash on the ramp from 164 to 94 westbound. It's off on the right shoulder there. And then just basically delays everywhere. Southbound 43 backing up from Silver Spring all the way down past Capitol Drive. We've got northbound 43 slowing down from the Lincoln area all the way through the Marquette up to Keefe. Eastbound 94, we got this issue here from Highway 16 all the way slow past Highway 164 to about Springdale Road, and then from the Zoo all the way to 35th Street. Traffic is brought to you by the Neal Group. They know how to minimize your taxes to keep more money in your pocket. Visit nealgroup.net to learn more. That's nealgroup.net. And checking the TMJ4 Storm King forecast today, scattered showers with areas of fog, high of 65 at the lake, 75 inland. Tonight, patchy fog, mild with a low of 51. Weather is brought to you by Fifth Third Bank, custom solutions built around your goals, member FDIC. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Let's talk about home turf. Your lawn is a reflection of your pride, hard work, and even competitive spirit. If you want a yard that makes the neighbors stop and stare, you need the right plan. That's where Weedman Lawn Care comes in. Weedman's lawn care program is kid and pet friendly, uses golf course quality fertilizer, and has an effective weed treatment to dominate any issue. Get a free quote of Weedman's winning formula for your yard at weedman.com and get 50% off your first treatment. That's weedman.com. Weedman for the win.
Carbless ready-to-drink cocktails are here for your flawless summer. Hey, it's Brad Nortman. Drinking Carbless and watching the crew is already a win, but now that combination is about to get a whole lot better. Carbless is offering you a sweet night at the ballpark. Your chance to win 14 tickets with food and drinks included to the July 26 game is just one shopping trip away. From now until the end of May, head to your local retailer and scan the QR code to register for your chance to win this amazing prize. A flawless summer night at the ballpark awaits.
This is Brian Balaga. You're listening to 94.5 ESPN.
94.5 ESPN is WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station. Ready, down, put. All Packers, all the time.
He was a field tilting player, and the reason why Gabe and many others are so concerned is that this guy's on the field, he changes the offensive dynamic. They are a different offense when he is there.
Okay, most of the time.
You know, Homer calls Matt LaFleur soft all the time. Matt LaFleur is like Vince Lombardi compared to me.
It's Jason Wilde on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Always good to get the insight from our teammate, Jason Wilde. Good morning, Jason. How are you today?
Good morning. Well rested.
We were concerned,
at least
Jason.
And by the way, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm a little concerned that I'm old enough now that if I don't answer the phone, people think I'm like dead. But I really appreciate that you guys were concerned. Thank you.
Nope.
I was just sleeping. My alarm did not go off.
I did text Jesse for a wellness check because you always answer your phone. So that to me was like, well, we got ourselves a pickle here.
Well, I stayed up too late writing this story about Jayden Reed, which just, like, first of all, like I ended last week with people suggesting that I was stirring up unnecessary drama regarding Elton Jenkins. And then, of course, you heard yesterday Steno confirm that he's not taking part in the offseason program. And as I had said, I suspect, which is true, that he's fine with moving to center. What he's not fine with is his contract situation. So we talked about that last week, and now this. And Josh, he had I don't know if you guys, since I was sleeping, I don't know if you guys talked about this in this vein, but Josh, he said, he called it what Drew Rosenhaus reported. And Adam does a phenomenal job, and I have a ton of respect for him. But having Drew Rosenhaus's name in that tweet tells me that Drew Rosenhaus was the one who was happy to share this information. And I don't think it painted his client in a great light. And so I'm very curious how you guys have viewed it.
Same.
Same.
It's bad look.
Well, because also, we had Steno earlier in the day telling us, oh, yeah, we're going to have competition at right tackle with Zach Tom, who's one of their best offensive linemen.
what the
but apparently
hell?
there's no competition, and Jayden Reed's just the number one wide receiver.
Or at least that's what they told Drew, because, look, he's led them in receiving both catches and yards each of the last two seasons. He's obviously a very good player. But he had 11 catches in the final 5 games. And one of the things that LaFleur had commented on was that he had concerns about how beat up he was and that he wanted to take some hits off of Jayden Reed. Well, if you give Savion Williams some of the end arounds, or even Matthew Golden, according to Steno yesterday, and jet sweeps and handoffs out of the backfield, well, that allows you to take some of those hits off of Jayden Reed. Now, the problem is it also takes away times that he gets to touch the ball, right? I don't know about you guys, but I find myself wondering if this, hey, let's get a bunch of young guys and just have them all battle it out instead of having clearer pecking orders like they did when Chewy played, if that is not as great of an idea as Goody thought it was, especially in an era, and look, I'm not trying to cast any aspersions on anyone, but he even said it himself, Goody did, that we live in a time where if you don't like how things are going at your college, you enter the transfer portal. You get paid NIL money. You, more than ever before in terms of recruiting, you're constantly being told how great you are. And so I wonder if that is in some way a factor that Jayden Reed needs his agent to have a conversation with Goody about his role because 2 wide receivers were drafted, instead of just saying, oh, I'm not going to let these guys take my snaps. I'm going to go out there. I'm motivated, whatever. Like, I'm a little bit curious as to whether or not this formula is being tested because, by the way, I still don't think we've confirmed that Romeo Doubs has been at the offseason program. Right? Like, he wasn't in any of those pictures that Evan Siegel took. We know last year he stayed home from work because he was unhappy. Like, is it possible that he's not the happiest camper? And is that why his name is being linked to being traded to the Steelers, even under the seemingly inaccurate guise of, oh, yeah, Aaron Rodgers really likes him. So there's something fishy going on here, that's for sure.
So, Jason, what was your initial reaction to Zach Tom now having to compete during training camp at right tackle? What the hell is that? Is that a cost-saving? I mean, what are they doing?
I mean, I did, and I think I'm going to write this maybe even today. But I talked to Zach at locker room cleanout, and he was very blunt about how he'd played. And you and Bulaga both had said this last offseason when we found out he'd torn his pec, and that was how much of a problem that was going to be for him. And it clearly was, right? Like, he did not play at the same level he had previously. But I thought that was like a mitigating circumstance, and I had no reason to think that a guy who's clearly, I agree, been their best offensive lineman would now have his job be in jeopardy. And so, but here's the problem I have, because I don't want to sound Pollyanna-ish and make it sound like, well, you guys shouldn't make guys compete, right? And I tried to frame my question about Rashid that way, because I'm not here to say, oh, he's so good, he's not Joe Thomas. But I do wonder from a psyche standpoint, if everyone's always competing, right? That's a great cliche. Well, competition brings out the best in players. Iron sharpens iron. But do you really want guys constantly thinking, even the ones that are the best players that are in line for potential contract extensions, do you always want them thinking that they can be replaced? Like, is that you tell me, Chewy, you're the one who played in the league. That doesn't seem like it sounds good in theory. Oh, you always got to compete. This league's about competition. But they're also human beings. They're not robots. And I would love – I have not talked to Zach Tom since the season ended. But I would be curious if that line, because I almost fell out of my chair yesterday when he said that. And then he went back. He said across the entire line at both tackles, and then he went back and said left tackle, right tackle. Like, he explicitly said right tackle. So there's no, he was just speaking generally. No, he went back and said right tackle. So to me, you tell me, is that healthy? Is that a good thing?
No, well, who's he going to compete against? You don't even know who the hell he's competing.
Anthony Belton. Anthony Belton.
Yeah. But Jason, it ran through my mind. I'm like, okay, is this part of his negotiation where they're trying to drive down his money? Because I don't think they want to give him Penny Sewell money. But the guy's hasn't he been second team All-Pro?
I don't know what his awards have been.
But I mean, he's highly thought of.
Yeah,
but I'm like, Jason, did this come from Goody as a way to negotiate?
Maybe. I can't say for certain, no. But I don't think they operate that way. I think it's just everybody has to compete. Like, that's like it's like they're John 3:16, like their most famous line is, "For God so loved the world that everyone has to compete for their job around here."
LaFleur 3:16.
There you go, perfect. Goody 3:16, an epistle to the title towns. I don't personally understand it. I agree that it makes sense that most guys, including that wide receiver room, look, Jayden Reed had the opportunity, and I know he led them in catches and yards last year, but he had the opportunity to put a clear stamp that he was the guy, and there was no reason for him to be threatened. by Matthew Golden's selection. But when you catch 11 balls in the last 5 games, you didn't put that stamp on, right? And so this is a possibility. And in one breath, we're saying everybody's got to compete. In another breath, this is out there, and obviously the agent has a say in how that was presented. But at the same time, like the fact that, Goody took the meeting obviously tells you that it's enough of a concern, right? Otherwise, I really find myself questioning how, quote unquote, healthy this approach has been. Because look, Jeff Thomason was never competing with you for your starting job, but Jeff Thomason understood his role, played it at a very high level, right?
Yes.
And when you missed some time, we saw the flying T because you caught a couple of touchdowns.
Yep.
So what's wrong with kind of knowing your station? And the idea of guys, like, obviously guys have to be professional enough that if they know they're the starter, to not be lazy and mail it in, obviously. But I don't know. It's almost as if there's a lack of, and again, I don't know that this is the case, but do you not trust young guys enough to be pros enough to work their tails off enough if they have some level of security in their role, so you feel like everyone's got to compete? Like, Zach Tom does not strike me as the type of guy that gets complacent. But there is no denying how Steno said that yesterday, put him publicly on notice, and none of us were expecting it.
So does this mean he's not signing an extension this offseason, Jason?
Yeah, great question, right? I mean, and again, I guess we have to allow for the possibility that Steno was just making sure that it sounds like everybody has to compete, even if that's not the case. But again, he doubled down on it.
Doesn't it get upset if they sign him to an extension and then it looks like there's because there's at times there seemed like has been a disconnect between the front office and the coaching staff. And if Goody goes out before training camp and gives him the extension, like, now it seems like not everybody's on the same page.
Yeah, that's a fair critique, Gabe. I just look. I was surprised by that. I also will say this. I was surprised because, look, nobody had been a more vocal supporter of Jair Alexander. And, look, obviously Halfley and I get along pretty well. Still waiting for my BC sweatshirt that he said is in his office for the last 2.5 months. But I was not going to, they had called two more questions, and I was not going to let him get out of there without being asked about Jair Alexander. And the fact that he punted on that question, like, if and again, I don't want to have to read tea leaves, but if you thought things were advancing toward him being there, don't you answer in, hey, look, there's a lot of things to work out, but I'll tell you this, I love Jair. He's when he's healthy, he's been great for me. Like, the fact that he flat out, punted on it and called it a hypothetical, which, again, I thought we were answering hypotheticals now, because Goody had no problem with the hypothetical of trading Jair a couple months ago. I thought that was interesting. So now we've got Jair, we've got Elton, we've got Reed. We might have something brewing with Romeo Dobbs. Like, I just, doesn't this feel like very un-Packers-like right now?
Yeah.
And then we've got the offensive line competition question on top of it.
Jason, Rich Bisaccia also spoke yesterday. Joshy, give us a little sample of something he said.
What brought you back again? Was it an easy decision, or was there some contemplation on your part?
Me personally?
Yeah.
Yeah. I had tremendous conversations with Coach LaFleur and the direction we're going, and I felt like I've failed him at times in some of the things or in the ways in which we've played. So I have a certain standard and expectation of how we're supposed to play in the kicking game, and I'm really excited about being here and being back with him and having the opportunity to win a championship.
That's the assistant head coach, Rich Bisaccia. I don't want to discredit him for whatever title he has. Were you in line with that? Has Rich Bisaccia failed Matt LaFleur at times?
Well, this is the highlight of my career, as some of my colleagues pointed out. The shortest question I've ever asked was the follow-up to that, which was, how do you feel like you failed him? I mean, I don't know if I've ever asked a question that short. And he detailed the special teams failings in the playoff loss in San Francisco 2 years ago. He obviously pointed to the fumble by Keyshawn Nixon in the opener or on the opening kickoff against the Eagles in that playoff game. He talked about getting hoodwinked by the Bears on that return in the regular season finale. But that you don't expect to hear that. And I also asked him exactly what his role is in terms of game management. I said, we see you talking to LaFleur all the time. LaFleur had admitted, parentheses, when he was on stage with Tausch and me at the Tundra Trio, about that he hadn't done a good job of managing games at times. And doesn't that also fall under the purview of the assistant head coach? Did he fail him there? So, yeah, that was very interesting when Rich admitted that he's going to turn 65 in a couple weeks. And basically the question was just, why did you keep coming back? And his answer, I thought, that he felt he'd failed the head coach was very compelling.
Jason, we appreciate you this morning. Sorry we had to wake you up for your assignments / duty, but good stuff.
Do your job.
Really good. Well, listen, I don't even want to attribute anything that Bill Belichick has said in the past. That's a whole nother can of worms we could open up here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Have a great one. We'll talk to you again very soon.
All right, everybody. Take care. Be good.
Jason Wilde can be heard on Wilde and Tausch right after Jen, Gabe, and Chewy each and every morning here on 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee. We will take a break. Still a lot to get to this morning. Stick around.
More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
We've got some backups with a few accidents. First of all, 94 eastbound, just east of Highway 16. The two left lanes are blocked with a crash. That's backing things up all the way back to Highway SS. Then we've also got on the westbound side a crash at Blue Mound Road with the right lane blocked, and then a ramp from the ramp from 164 to westbound 94. Another crash there. Southbound 43, very heavy from before Silver Spring all the way down past Burleigh. Northbound's solid from the high-rise bridge all the way up to Keefe. Escape to the Knickerbocker on the lake. Enjoy stunning lake views, luxurious rooms, and exceptional dining. Experience timeless charm and modern luxury in the heart of Milwaukee. Book your stay at knickerbockeronthelake.com. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today. Scattered showers, areas of fog with a high of 65 at the lake, 75 inland. Then tonight, patchy fog. It'll be mild with a low of 51. Weather is brought to you by Tsunami Express Car Wash. Try your first wash free when you sign up online at tsunamiexpress.com. Tsunami Express. Wash, chill, repeat. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
St. Kate the Arts Hotel, conveniently located in the heart of downtown Milwaukee's Theater District. With deluxe accommodations, culinary creativity, on-site art galleries, artist in residence, and nightly live music, you'll enjoy every element of your stay at St. Kate. Learn more and book your stay at stkatearts.com.
Truck drivers, are you tired of an outdated truck hurting your paychecks? At Schneider, we add new trucks to our fleet every year to keep drivers moving and racking up the miles. Our easy-to-use technology is designed to keep you safe and comfortable while also boosting your income potential. So, are you ready to get behind the wheel of a more reliable ride? Find jobs near you and apply now at SchneiderJobs.com. That's SchneiderJobs.com.
Hey, this is Mike from Infinity Exteriors. Buying a roof, siding, or windows can feel overwhelming. Hidden costs, confusing contracts. We don't play that game. We educate you so that you can decide. And when you know the facts, Infinity Exteriors is the clear choice. Since 1997, we've installed peace of mind with no surprise upcharges, flexible budgets, and immediate financing. Infinity Exteriors, saving our communities from unscrupulous contractors. Visit infinityexteriors.com.
Turn those hoop dreams into reality with Precision Sports, your one-stop shop in southeastern Wisconsin for Mega Slam, Ironclad, and Dominator basketball hoop systems. Installation of new or old hoops and completely customizable painted court lines. PrecisionSportsOnline.com.
With 18 unforgettable holes on 250 acres of natural private land, The Bog provides the ultimate golf experience. To book your next tee time, call 262-284-7075 or visit golfthebog.com. Enjoy golf. Enjoy The Bog.
The UW Credit Union member Mark Tauscher here. People ask me, old T, why did you join UW Credit Union? Well, is it to keep your banking local? Is it the member first service? Great perks like early payday? Absolutely. But honestly, between us, it's Bucky. I can't say no to that face. If you love Wisconsin like I do, you just can't pay with anything else. Fandom makes us do crazy things, but this just makes sense. Become a UW Credit Union member and get your Bucky card like me. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions apply.
It's Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Though, right?
Yeah.
Kind of like a, oof, like just, instead of a, huh.
Yeah. But that's all part of taking the training law.
I do, but it's just such funny noises.
Did this get sexual or something? I don't know about it. What the hell just happened?
On 94.5 ESPN.
What does it mean to be a local bank? At Great Midwest Bank, we may be small, but our coworkers understand the local community because we are all a part of it. Every one of the people who works at Great Midwest Bank work in and live in the community. Customers live just down the street. We give them customized products, services that others cannot provide. So naturally, after almost 90 years, giving back is an obligation that Great Midwest Bank is proud to provide. Great Midwest Bank is simply giving, simply local.
It's Chewy's favorite segment of the week.
Hey, big guy, you catch the game?
It's Power Rankings time on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
You catch the game last night? Can I say yes to you?
What will the big guy have in store for us today?
See the game last night?
Which game?
Any of them.
Okay, very simple. Very simple.
Very rarely the case.
Famous
with me.
last words.
Yeah, very rare.
Simple. ESPN, which teams improve the most over the draft? Very simple.
So this isn't like a power rankings. It's just the 10 teams that improved the most over the draft.
Yes.
Kind of sounds like a top 8 at 8 list.
You want me to hold on to it and come up with my own?
No. Please, God, no.
Softest people at ESPN.
He knew exactly what he was doing there when he teed you up, Joshy.
All right, give me 10.
I don't have any idea how to go about attacking this. The Bears, 10.
I'll say, I'm trying to think of teams that had good drafts. I'll go San Francisco.
Cincinnati Bengals.
Again.
Sure.
Why? Okay. Why, Chewy? Why did the Cincinnati Bengals have a good draft?
There isn't as much to choose from given Cincinnati's lack of splashy offseason moves.
Wait, are you reading but pretending you're not reading?
I'm just reading what it says under.
Okay.
I have no idea. All right, give me 9.
Again, I don't know how to attack this at all.
I mean, it's just basically teams that
See, now
thought
you
had
guys
good
want me
drafts.
back, right? You want me back?
Want you back for what?
You want me creating my own top 10 list?
Listen, Jackson 5, relax over there. Bears, again, I don't know what the...
I will say the Arizona Cardinals.
The Minnesota Vikings.
Of course. Any particular reason why the Minnesota
Not
Vikings
really.
are 9th on the power rankings of most improved teams after the NFL draft?
I really don't know.
So they must have really liked Ty Felton.
Most improved position, they said interior offensive line.
Oh, yeah, because they picked up guard in the first
I was
round.
going to say, Ty Felton is not playing interior offensive line.
No, but like they didn't have a second-round pick, so... Okay.
You know what I'm going to start doing is just guessing teams that I think will be there at the end.
Yes, number 8.
So how about the Washington Commanders?
I'll say the Falcons.
The Green Bay Packers. Most improved position?
Wide receiver.
Yeah, nailed it.
Is this actually a power rankings?
Yes.
Okay.
Why? What's the difference?
Because I was guessing teams that had good drafts.
Oh,
Not
no.
like, the power rankings. Like, I thought, maybe the Titans could be number 1 because they had the number 1 overall pick. So this is the power rankings
I read the headline.
post-draft. But you didn't say it was a power rankings.
Which teams improved in the draft?
I thought it was most improved, which I think is a pretty clear distinction. Okay, so
So it's just a regular
Tomato,
power rankings.
tomato.
Okay.
So this is just a regular power rankings.
Great.
Yes.
You have an undeniable skill at bleeping everything up.
Like you could have just said this is a regular power rankings post draft.
Post draft. Okay. How?
Well, you're a bunch of Jayden Reeds. That's what you are.
I'm gonna.
We call my agent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Complain to Brian D.
Number 7.
Okay, so top 7.
Okay, so yeah, now I got to reset my brain because now this is just a power.
So
rankings.
we've already done the Vikings.
Yes.
We've already done the Packers.
What the hell?
Did he jump?
Okay.
Did he jump in your ear?
No,
Oh.
no, I'm just laughing at you guys.
I'll say the Rams.
I'll say the Commanders.
Oh, the Rams. Way to go, Gabe. Most improved position.
Ugh.
You don't even know.
It doesn't matter.
After the draft?
Wide receiver.
But that would only be because of
Only.
Devontae. Thank you.
It's only.
Devontae.
I'm mocking you guys now for the rest of the day.
Because you didn't do your job.
6.
Also, how is that different than any other day?
Number 6.
Commanders?
Yeah, the commies make sense here.
Commies, most improved position.
Defensive line.
You were close. Kicker. Offensive line.
You were close.
I don't like the commies either.
Trenches. You don't?
No, because it sounds like you're not supposed to like them. I like Washington.
Why aren't you supposed to like the commies
Are
anymore?
you saying,
Communism?
he's
Sounds
saying
like
the name.
Yeah.
He's saying
you
the
don't like the
name.
commies.
Yeah.
I think he likes
okay.
the team.
Oh. Again, miscommunication.
Nanders? Can we call them the
Shocking.
Nanders?
The Natters? There's no N in there, right? Oh, Commanders. Yeah,
Yeah.
Nanders.
There's no N.
I'm in her head. I've been in a lot of people's heads.
Samsonite. I was
crushed him
way
yesterday. His rent's due at the end of the month.
But he said Nanders, and I think
Yeah.
it's Manders.
People love this segment, too.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, it's their favorite of the week.
Number 5.
Fudge. Okay, hold on. I got to go backwards.
So number 5, I will say AO.
I will say the Ravens at 5.
You nailed it. What's their most improved position?
Who nailed it?
You did.
Well,
You were the last one to speak, so
Yes.
clearly it was you.
Position?
no idea.
Pass defense.
That's not a position.
Well, I know, but here, I'll read it. Most
don't,
improved
don't, please
position.
don't.
Pass defense.
Somebody messed up.
4.
We got Buffalo. We got Detroit. I'll go Buffalo here.
Yeah, Bills.
Lions.
Darn it.
Ooh.
Offensive line is their most improved position, in case you were wondering.
Okay.
Because I believe they took an offensive line around.
But who could say for sure? Who knows?
Which team was that?
Oh, my goodness.
The Lions.
Interesting. Didn't they draft Tyleek Williams in the first
It
round?
doesn't matter.
Defensive tackle?
That's
Nope. Good. Again, nobody knows, Josh.
yes, useless information.
I do.
Nobody knows. No, turns out you know.
3.
Well, it's got to be Buffalo.
Yeah, this is Buffalo.
AO.
Now it
most
just determines
improved
where they put the Eagles or the
D-line.
Chiefs.
Did they draft a D lineman?
Who can say?
It doesn't really matter. If it's not Green Bay, we really don't give a rip. Philly.
Is number 2.
I hate you guys. Because you drive me to this point. I mean, I really do not like you. This is not my...
He's crying.
What do you mean it's not your fault? Whose fault could it be?
Okay. Well, does that mean the Chiefs are one?
I'm going back to Florida. I have had it. My cup runneth over. Jeez, I need a buffer. Can I switch with someone at the Truth Studio? Can we technologically do that so I don't have to sit in here?
No, the only way we could do it is switching you out for me.
To be
Ashton,
clear,
this is ridiculous.
to be clear, Chewy wanted to say number 2.
Yes.
And he said Philly. Gabe goes Is
You know what
number
one?
2?
Any guesses at one?
Yeah, it's the Chiefs.
Nailed it.
Oh, the Cleveland Browns are number
But
1.
we were waiting for you to go ahead and tell us.
Great list. I thought it was very good.
I mean, once we got there, yeah, I think once we all got on the same
cow.
page.
Gosh, darn it. Oh, I can't breathe. Why do I feel like I just ran on the treadmill?
Did a couple sit-ups afterwards, too. And Ewald Automotive Group, they don't just see the uniform, they see the people in them. They will service those who serve our brave first responders. Thank you for your dedication, sacrifice, and for keeping us safe. As always, service members and their families can benefit from the Military Advantage program with special pricing and incentives. On every vehicle and every new car sold this month, Ewald will make a donation to local military and first responder charities. Thank you from the Ewald Automotive Group. And it always starts at ewaldauto.com.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy are back after this on 94.5 ESPN.
We've got some backups with a few accidents. First of all, 94 eastbound, just east of Highway 16. The 2 left lanes are blocked with a crash. That's backing things up all the way back to Highway SS. Then we've also got on the westbound side a crash at Blue Mound Road with the right lane blocked, and then a ramp from the ramp from 164 to westbound 94. Another crash there. Southbound 43, very heavy from before Silver Spring all the way down past Burleigh. Northbound's solid from the high-rise bridge all the way up to Keefe. Escape to the Knickerbocker on the lake. Enjoy stunning lake views, luxurious rooms, and exceptional dining. Experience timeless charm and modern luxury in the heart of Milwaukee. Book your stay at knickerbockeronthelake.com. And checking the TMJ for Storm Team forecast today. Scattered showers, areas of fog with a high of 65 at the lake, 75 inland. And tonight, patchy fog. It'll be mild with a low of 51. Weather is brought to you by Tsunami Express Car Wash. Try your first wash free when you sign up online at tsunamiexpress.com. Tsunami Express. Wash, chill, repeat. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Systems. This time, it's St. Anne's Center for Intergenerational Care. CFO Sally Parente.
We were unhappy with our previous vendor. It was always a big production. We also had some issues with pricing.
And now with James Imaging Systems.
The service, the value, and the ease with which we can just keep using their service and not having any big headaches. We're getting value here as well.
Just what you'd expect from James Imaging Systems, a 100% Wisconsin-owned and managed company. AI-driven workflow automation, security enhancements, and digital transformation.
I love that they're a local company. They've been a wonderful business partner for St. Anne Center.
Make the switch to James Imaging Systems. Call 262-781-7700 or visit jamesimaging.com. James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner.
Monica, we've got to hand it to you.
You and the design team have outdone yourselves.
Are you talking about the One collection?
Those rings say you are the one.
And they say it symbolically.
Describe the symbols.
Every ring in the One collection should be presented with a special ritual.
What would that ritual be?
You pick up her left hand and you place a kiss on her ring finger.
Rick, you never told me about that part.
Then you show her the tiny red diamond, flush mounted inside the ring, that will forever be in contact with her finger.
Why is it red?
Because that's when the giver says to the one, wherever you go, my heart goes with you.
I give you this kiss. I give you my heart.
The red diamond is a secret symbol of that sacred moment.
The center diamond on the outside of the ring is for the whole world to see.
But the tiny red created diamond inside the ring is only for the two of them.
The One collection of engagement rings is available exclusively at Kessler's.
To find the Kessler's nearest you,
visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
If you're a motorist of the four-wheel variety, please watch out for those of us in Wisconsin who do their traveling on two wheels. Adjust your mirrors to reduce your blind spots. Allow motorcyclists a full lane width. Use your turn signal when merging or changing lanes. And allow more following distance between you and the motorcycle. Motorists and motorcyclists can work together to achieve zero preventable deaths on Wisconsin roads. Zero in Wisconsin. Together we can save lives. Learn more at zeroinwisconsin.gov. Wisconsin DOT.
Summer's getting closer, and Brewers action at American Family Field is only heating up. Don't miss a Midwestern throwdown between the Brewers and the Twins, May 16th through the 18th. Get a Jedi Jackson Churio Star Wars Night bauble with a special theme night ticket on the 16th. Then get here early for an exclusive Brewers cribbage board giveaway for the first 25,000 fans on the 17th. Presented by 620 WTMJ. Get tickets at brewers.com.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
How do you get to 10 in NFL in the football game? How do you do that?
You can have 5 safeties.
That's a great point.
Which would also be a great endorsement for Derek Carr.
2 field goals, 2 safeties.
2 field goals, 2
also
safeties.
a great endorsement for the quarterback. Continue.
Yes.
What else do we have?
On 94.5 ESPN.
I never took a gap year. Had to look up what a gap year was, actually. Could argue Chewy gap yeared his whole college career.
I did.
But what do you make of a gap year for the Milwaukee Bucks? Our buddy Eric Name put an article out at The Athletic talking about how the Bucks could pitch Giannis on a gap year. Gabe, what's your understanding of this concept?
I mean, the Bucks can't compete for a championship in 25-26. They just can't. Roughly a third of the salary cap is dedicated to a player who's just not going to be able to play. I mean, if they're lucky, he might be able to play at the end of the year. If they're lucky with Damian Lillard and the Achilles injury. It's just going to take time to recover. So part of the pitch, I think, for Giannis, and this is a great article written by Eric, is, hey, we're going to try to get younger. We're going to try to build this core around you. And the ball's going to be in your hands, the way it was when Dame was out with his deep vein thrombosis, when he was dealing with the blood clot. You're going to be point guard. You're going to put up buku numbers. You're going to be in the MVP conversation, maybe even win it, because you might be able to average a triple-double the way you did over the last 8 games of the regular season. And then after that, okay, then we've got some options that we can start supplementing this roster with around you. And it's happened to other players. I mean, Steph Curry had to do it with Golden State when Klay Thompson was out. They went on to win another championship just a few years ago. He makes the example of Kobe, who led the league in scoring between their 4th and 5th championships out in Los Angeles with the Lakers. So it's not something that's a new concept for guys that stay with one team for their entire careers, is the case that he is making. Because every once in a while you need to have that reset.
And I've told you guys, my peak, because people's peaks are different when they play sports. My peak was 26, 27. That's when I was at my best. My body felt that I was the strongest. And then you make the turn, right? And it depends, how dramatic that turn is, how far you fall off. What is it in basketball? 30?
No, I think it's a little bit long. I mean, you're seeing guys having, being able to maintain that plateau that you kind of talked about.
Don't just talk special players like LeBron and things like that.
But Giannis is a special player. Like Kevin Durant is in his mid-late 30s. Damian Lillard.
Is he still good?
Kevin Durant? Yeah. He's really good.
He's not as good as he used to be, is he?
Yeah, his team just stinks.
Okay.
Like he could still, he's still a bucket. Like he's still as good as he was a handful of years ago. But Damian Lillard, I mean, he is in his mid-30s. I mean, he had the last 2 years, he was an all-star, still a really good,
but he's
highly
not going to be the
efficient
same
player.
Type of
Coming
player
off of the
after
Achilles.
No.
Coming off the Achilles, I agree. But I'm just saying the last 2 years, he was in his mid-30s.
I think it's going to be dependent on
Steph
what
Curry.
I think it's going to be dependent on what his teammates do, because there's a lot of player options where they can opt out. There's a lot of them.
They're going to make their decision after Giannis makes his decision.
You think so?
Yeah.
So what are they telling him? I'm coming back? It's all dependent on you?
I think it's all kind of, I mean, if you're Bobby Portis, are you opting in knowing if Giannis is there or not?
Not knowing.
Yes.
You're not opting in, not knowing if Giannis is there or not. That's correct.
Yeah. So you're not
But the issue is 2 years from now. So what's Bobby, not this next, is he a free agent?
He would be an unrestricted free agent after 25-26 because he's got a player option for this upcoming season.
But then you want to get paid.
Yeah, and maybe the Bucks decide not to pay him. Or they turn him into an asset and trade him at the deadline this year.
I'm just like with the gap year, Jen, I'm like, do you just rebuild? Do you just retool? Let these guys go, say, You're not a part of our long-term plans. Got it.
I think that's a
And
part
then
of it.
Build around it.
Yeah, I think that's a part of it.
But
where they're
Giannis
trying to
also
get
likes some of that familiarity too, right? And again,
Yes.
I understand production is the name of the game here, but there is something about like if he's going to do this thing and they know they're not going to be winning a lot, there is something to be said for, well, what's the difference if we don't win a lot with these guys or don't win a lot with somebody new? I will say this, when he talks about gap year, that consolation prize, it does feel like could be the MVP. It could be, hey, we'll cook the books. I already said that this morning. I got to get new material.
It's a good term.
We'll cook the books for you a little bit here with the triple-double and put you in position to win the MVP.
Now I get questions about you.
I paid my taxes. Shut your mouth. I paid
If you're
lot.
a big fan of the phrase "cook the books," I got a lot more questions now, buddy.
All right, let me ask you this. You think Giannis's loyalty outweighs his desire to win a championship?
No.
Well,
No, but Gabe's point is the championship would just be in waiting. It's like layaway. Remember back in the day when you couldn't get the bike, but the bike, you wanted the bike, and your mom was like, we're going to put it on layaway. I'm going to make a little payment. That's what this would be. We're going to get the bike. We're just not going to get it now.
But it hasn't worked.
I mean, they won a championship.
Won 14 years ago.
It was
14 exactly.
Yeah. This is the Packers?
Yep.
The Packers won one 14 years ago. But they've got, at the end of this, they would potentially have assets in Kyle Kuzma and Damian Lillard's expiring contracts. Now, again, not the players themselves necessarily, but the contracts that are expiring that could entice teams.
Yeah.
And you could use those as pieces to trade and really have something going forward in 26, 27.
So they need to put a little PowerPoint together, it sounds like.
Yeah.
And I know we're trying to spin this the best way possible. Does it not feel a little
It was
crazy?
that obvious, huh?
Does it not feel a little crazy to look at a guy in his prime and be like, yes, we need you to burn a year in your prime, but we'll make sure it's worth it? Like, that's the proposition here.
But that's, again, if you're staying with one team your entire career, that's going to happen over the course. I mean, he's already been here for 12 years. Like, if you're someplace 20 years the way Kobe was or Steph Curry is, like, you're going to have those years. And again, for Golden State, they more or less blew it. They had the number 2 overall pick after one of their kind of, gap years where they had a lot of injuries that they had to deal with. And Klay Thompson had a number of injuries, but Steph was still patient. And that patience was paid off with a championship a couple of years ago. So the same thing with Kobe. I mean, those teams that won, obviously, with Shaq, and then they were kind of retooled for championship number 4 and championship number 5. Like, there was some retooling that was done there in order to get those championships. If you're in one place for long enough and you just over-leverage yourself the way the Bucks are, you need to have a year where you take a step back and go, okay, we need to take a breath here, and then we can really retool around you in 26, 27.
But Kobe was a little different. He's in L.A., man.
But he
was a movie star.
I mean,
you know what I'm saying?
Kobe also straight up demanded a trade and wasn't traded. So people get romantic about him in the Lakers, but he demanded a trade. Once walked off a practice yelling at his GM that all his teammates were bums. So there was some contentious.
So
times.
right now, percentage Giannis is coming back.
60-40, he's here.
Yeah, to be honest, I was more at the 50-50, but I think I'd like to lean a little more 51-49. I do like that in the article, that Eric Name also details the young players that they have that they could retain. And that I'm sure that they will try to, at least on some level. Porter, a 25-year-old playmaking threat who can excel in the two-man game with Antetokounmpo. Rollins, a soon-to-be 23-year-old defense-first point guard who hit 40% of his threes. Trent, a 26-year-old sharpshooter who showed up in the biggest moments of the postseason. And Green, a deadly 42% three-point shooter who excelled in the two-man game with Antetokounmpo and turns 26 this fall. That doesn't sound that bad. And if those guys all continue to grow, continue to evolve into their respective roles, Gabe, I actually don't mind those being supplementary pieces to Giannis.
Yeah, and then they're going to get a lot of playing time this year with Giannis, so they get that chemistry that he desperately always wants with his teammates, and they have the opportunity to grow their
Still
games.
need a stud.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
Giannis thinks that too.
Yeah, that's what. But in 26, 27, you've got those expiring contracts of
So you can
Kuzma
do it.
and Dame
Yeah,
to go
all right.
get another stud to pair along Giannis.
Did we
in the following
convince
year.
Chewy of a gap year?
Yeah.
But I mean, any pitch to Giannis has to include the gap year because it's just not possible to compete.
Low end 60-40 that he's back.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought it was more.
Because again, the tough part is whatever you trade Giannis for,
you're not going to get value back.
Well, no, you're not getting value back if you're the Bucks for someone like Giannis. But also, you're getting a king's ransom. And wherever he goes, that's Houston, that's San Antonio, whatever place you want to say, isn't he just going to end up landing in a pretty similar position where, okay, we had to give up a lot to get you here.
You got to carry the load.
Now you got to carry the load, and now you're doing it in an unfamiliar place with unfamiliar teams.
Will he get recruited hard, though? Or no?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You don't think he tunes that stuff out?
I mean, you're talking about next year, right? Because right now it would all be tampering.
Yeah.
Yes, I do. Yes.
He'll get recruited.
I think he's being recruited.
He's being recruited right now.
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah. Like you said, teams tamper.
Oh, of course.
That's just a fact of life.
Yeah.
And can't players work around it too? Because that's not technically
correct.
Yeah. Famously, they don't talk to the front offices on their desires for other athletes.
Yeah, that's never happened once in the NBA.
800-990-3776. Let's put it on the Jen, Gabe, and Chewy Twitter poll, Joshy. Would Giannis go for a gap year? Do you think the Bucks will be successful in convincing Giannis of the value of a quote-unquote gap season where, hey, we're just going to ride it out here, grow the chemistry, get to know these guys, figure out their roles, they grow in their roles, and then next year we add some assets and we compete for a championship? Can you give us 2 seasons instead of the 1 season to get that next championship that is so important to Giannis Antetokounmpo? We'll take a break here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Wrap up the show right after this, but discover an unreal treasure this May at Potawatomi. Do not miss your chance to win a share of $300,000 in cash and prizes. Just play with your rewards card for entries. Prize drawings on Thursdays, unreal treasures this May at Potawatomi Casino Hotel in Milwaukee. Your win is waiting. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy continues next on 94.5 ESPN. All day, every day. The Carbless talk and text line is open for you.
First off, there is not one team that's on the fringe that scares me.
800-990-3776. The Carbless talk and text line. This is more.
When you're high, you feel different. Pretty obvious, right? You think different, talk different, but if you feel different, you drive different. So if you're high, just don't drive. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Becoming a truck driver doesn't have to be complicated. At Schneider, we make it easy to get your commercial driver's license and start your new career. With our CDL apprenticeship training, you'll get paid to become a truck driver in just 5 to 6 weeks and have a Schneider driving job waiting for you when you've completed the program. Plus, during training, Schneider will provide transportation, lodging, and meals at no cost to you. Ready to get your career on the road? Learn more and apply today at SchneiderJobs.com. That's SchneiderJobs.com.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control of your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problem now by calling the experts at U.S. Tax Shield and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, so call now. 800-687-5192. That's 800-687-5192. U.S. Tax Shield. 800-687-5192.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs, with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The playoffs are in full swing, and you can get in on all the action at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Go from tracking the latest game-changing moments to placing bets in just a few taps. Right now, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app and sign up with promo code USL to get started today. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
What we need is a chart. And every week, we take the shirtless picture of Chew, and we move that to wherever the prediction is of how many wins that they have.
8, 6,
7.
7. I think that's how it goes now, right?
8,
and they lost
6, 7, 5, 3, 0, 9.
On 94.5 ESPN.
For Mental Health Awareness Month, BetterHelp surveyed 16,000 people across 23 countries for its first ever State of Stigma report. It found that while 75% of people believe it's wise to seek support, only 27% of Americans are actually in therapy. Here's the thing, guys. Therapy is a game changer. When you are feeling like you don't know why you're stuck, you want help, there are resources available, and BetterHelp is one of them. With over 35,000 therapists, BetterHelp is the world's largest online therapy platform, having served more than 5 million people globally. And it is convenient. You can do it in the privacy of your home. You join a session with the click of a button. It will help you fit therapy into your busy life. And you can find a therapist that really connects with you. Somebody who you feel like has your back. They all will, but obviously there's personal preferences. You can switch therapists at any time. We must all be better with reaching out for help. So visit BetterHelp.com/timeout to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/timeout. Look, we all have these moments. We all have these times where it feels like we don't have all of the answers. BetterHelp can help. Go to that website, BetterHelp.com/timeout for 10% off your first month. Silver Fox weighing in saying it's not a gap year, guys. It's a gap decade. Giannis is a big man. His prime is short. I'd move him if I were them. Well, that's one way of looking at it, I suppose.
I mean, I think that's true of big men from the 90s. I think it's a different day and age. Giannis hasn't really shown too many health issues, anything serious. The way like Joel Embiid has had the foot and the knee and all these different lower body injuries, I'm guessing he's going to be able to hold up for the next 5-6 years pretty easily because he also takes care of his body incredibly well.
Chewy, how hard would it be to convince an athlete, a top-tier athlete, that this season is a wash, give us an opportunity to get healthy, and I don't mean healthy from a health standpoint, but healthy across the board, and let's see what we can do the next season?
It would be tough with someone like Giannis, who I don't really think. I mean, he cares, but does he really care about the MVP? If that's his sole focus next year,
I think he cares about
do you
the
think
MVP.
So? It's hard, and the hard thing is, I think most fans probably would have expected 2 championships by now. Fair?
I think yes, considering like Gabe said, he's been a member of the Bucks for more than a decade.
I mean, after they won it,
sure, but the NBA is what the NFL pretends to be right now.
Yeah.
We've had different champions every year since 2019, and on track, by the way, to potentially do that again.
Well, look at what's going on across the board with the Celtics.
Yeah.
The
Like
Knicks
that's-
obviously in a great spot. And then we talked about a couple of times what's going on in the Eastern Conference on the other side.
Yeah. I think it's we're trending in a spot right now where actual parity exists in the NBA. versus what the NFL is.
But if you ask Giannis, he would probably say yes. I thought we'd have 2 by now. Yeah, I think he would.
Maybe.
And it's not like they haven't tried. They've made trades and they've tried combinations.
I just hate the conversation how it turns to I can't even enjoy 2021 because we don't have 2. Can't I enjoy 2021?
No, Gabe, I think the most disappointing thing is they've never been close. They've lost how many times in the first round
the last 3
to Indiana?
Yeah, the last 3 they've been ousted in the first round. They went to Game 7 in the Eastern Conference semis against Boston, and probably should have won that series. They were up in Game 6 at home, and didn't hold on to that game.
But the players are cognizant of what the front office does, and they may not always agree. I'm just telling you what his thinking is going to be. I think he's going to kick the tires. I don't think he's 100% bought in.
Yeah.
I think at the end of the day he will come back, but he does have questions.
Yeah, and I'm not saying he shouldn't.
Yeah.
But it's also really damn hard to win a championship, especially in a league that's actually promoting parity unlike the NFL.
I agree.
You keep saying that.
Yeah, stop bashing the NFL.
Isn't it better for there to be dominance? Isn't that when leagues thrive the best?
Well, no, I mean, the NFL just always tells you every year, hey, we're the league of parity.
Right, but when it comes to making money and success, wasn't the NBA at the best when Jordan was doing it over and over and over and over and over?
Look at you trying to get back in his good graces. Wildy and Tosh is next on 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee.
An accident westbound 94 right about at Blue